So what I've done so far is I've cleared this area of all the weeds, grasses, competing vegetation that was already here. And so now it's down to the bare soil. The area I've cleared is a little bit bigger than 2 times the width of our 1-gallon pot, just to give it plenty of space for the roots to fill out and have room for water to be caught inside and soak into the roots. So before we plant with our potted plant, I like to kind of loosen it up because sometimes they can be really just root bound inside the pot and tough to get out, and you might end up breaking your plant if you tug too hard on it to pull it out of the pot. So I just soften it up a little bit by rolling it on the ground, and then it should come out pretty easily. So I'm not yanking on it with my full force or anything. It comes out really easy. And this one is luckily pretty soft already. It's pretty moist, and so this will be a pretty easy one to plant. And I just kind of break the roots up gently. You don't want to be too rough with it to damage it, but just break them up a little bit so that they will expand out of their pot shape into the soil in the ground. Okay, so now that I've dug my hole to a good width and depth, I'm going to place my potted plant in there with the soil still on it. And it's a little bit loosened up, like I mentioned before. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with some of the soil that I dug up previously. You might have to break it up because, like I said, we have some clay-rich soils around here. So especially if it's really wet while you're doing this in the middle of winter, you might want to break it up a little bit. And you want to make sure there's not too many air pockets. The roots aren't crushed, so you don't want to pack it in too tight, but you do want to make sure that it's going to be sturdy and secure in there. And there's no need to bring in topsoil from outside your property for this. You can just use the native soil that you dug up while digging the hole, and that will work perfect for your native plant. So now we have the native plant in the ground. It's at the correct depth, and the roots should be able to have enough room to start growing on their own. So I like to give it a 2-finger pull test just to make sure it's secure in there and it's not going to fall out or be pulled out very easily. So just with your 2 fingers and your thumb, just give it a little tug, and it should wiggle a little bit, but it shouldn't pull right out with that amount of pressure that you're pulling on it. And it shouldn't also be stuck in there so tight that it doesn't move at all, because otherwise water and air won't be able to get in there. And you can see inside the hole there's a little bit of a depression, so water will trickle down into where the plant's base is, and that'll be a great water source for the plant. So next we're going to add a 2-inch layer of natural wood chip mulch, and this is a great way to prevent weeds from growing as competition for the plant and also retain water.